What is going on, everybody? Good afternoon. What is going on? What is up? Happy Monday. How's everybody's Monday? How's everybody's week starting off so far? What a wild weekend it was between the New York Yankees and New York Mets Subway Series. I mean, who expected these results? Who expected these types of performances? I mean, we'll talk about all of this. We're gonna, I got some stats. We're gonna talk about a lot here, folks. I'm gonna try and be live for about like 30 minutes or so I won't keep you all for too long. But shout out to the folks in the chat. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Share this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. The chat is on fire. We got quite a few people, it looks like. So thank you all for tuning in. We got Jonathan in the building. We got Nosebleed section. We got Ken. We got Susan. Who else we got in the building? We got Stephen B. We have Desiree. We got Jacob Petruzzi. What is up? Who else? I'm just going down the list here. We got Theo in the building. Yo, what up, Theo? Merc so saucy. What's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while in here, but what's going on, bro? Good to see you. But what is up, folks? What is going on? But like I said, make sure y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe, share this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's continue growing this channel out. Let's make it happen. We got Chua in the building. We got Bill P in the building. What is going on? What is up? What is up? What is up? So, like I was saying, what a weekend it was. What a Subway Series weekend it was. Man, I felt, like I said, I felt whoever was going to take the series is going to be 2 out of 3. I felt like the Mets certainly had a chance. I said the Yankees would take 2 out of 3. I didn't think the series, there were certain things about the series that I did not expect, right? I did not expect. What up, Lou? How's it going? What's going on? But, man, we got to talk about the Mets, right? And this isn't me trying to, like, trash the Mets. This isn't me trying to pick on Juan Soto. This isn't me trying to say that they're a bad team. No, this is a team. They're still in first place in the NL East. But I gotta make a mention about their batters, particularly with their 1, 2, 3 batters with Lindor, Soto, and Pete Alonso. So between these 3 guys, right, over the weekend, and shout out to Joe. What's going on, Joe? I know Joe's going to be going on live here in about an hour. So make sure you all go tune into NY Yankee Mania. Go subscribe to his channel if you have not yet. And Susan, if you want to go trash the Mets, go for it. Go for it. But I want to make a mention about Lindor, Soto, Alonso. I gotta bring up these numbers because to me, it was a bit of a shocker. I honestly expected a better performance. Was I nervous going into the series with the Yankees pitching facing these guys? 100%. 100% nervous. But the Yankees pitching held their own against these guys. All right. So when you look at the overall numbers with Lindor, Soto, and Pete Alonso, they went 4 for 34 in the entire series, which equals to about a 117 batting average. Juan Soto himself, 10 at-bats, 1 hit. Yo, what up, Max? How's it going, bro? Shout out to my man, Max. What's up? But once again, over the weekend, Lindor, Soto, Alonso, overall, they went 4 for 34, 4 hits in 34 at-bats. Juan Soto alone went 1 for 10. He had 1 hit in 10 at-bats. Let me know what you all think about that. I mean, I know it's early in the season. I'm not saying that, these guys are going to continue sucking along the way. But, I mean, those numbers to me were a little bit shocking. All right. When you look at who the Yankees signed in the offseason, and Chia, the Ace Avenue's in the building. What's up, bro? What's going on? Shout out to my man Ace. Yo, Ace, what are you up to, bro? Let me know what you're up to. What are you up to? You doing any movie reviews at the moment? Let me know. But yeah, 4 for 34, 1 for 10 for Juan Soto. I mean, I wasn't expecting this type of a performance from the Mets, batters, their top three. But the Yankees have not done anything. If you want to jump on, Ace, I could send you the link, bro, because I want to get your thoughts on this if you're up for it. Nosebleed says Soto has not shuffled for Mets. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. I'll pull up an article here from Bob Clappish that I read earlier, and you all can interpret it however you want. Okay, I got you, Ace. What up, Mr. Coconuts? What up, Jacob Frederick? Theo, I am so ready for this weekend, bro. I can't get here fast enough. So hold up, Ace. Brian Fleury says, Juan, who exactly? Yeah, Soto does not look like himself. I would agree with that. But while I'm sending this, let me send this text out to Ace real quick. You know, the thing I wanted to mention about the Yankees Plan B players, the Plan B, I wanted to mention this. All right. I wanted to mention Paul Goldschmidt, right? 5 homers, 25 RBIs, a batting average of 339 right now. OPS sitting at 878. Cody Bellinger right now, 7 home runs, 28 RBIs. His batting average is at 259. Remember, in the beginning of the month, he was, below 200. Now his batting average is at 259. OPS sitting at 789. All right. Juan Soto, May 19th, 2025. Okay. He has 8 home runs, 20 RBIs, a batting average of 246, OPS of 822. A year ago on this date today, Soto had 11 home runs, 37 RBIs, a batting average of 311, OPS of 963. So once again, I don't know about you all. I know it's still early in the season. Anything is possible. Anything can change. But that is very telling. And I think there's a big reason why I feel as though, Soto's numbers may not be where they are. I mean, you can say, people could say he's not happy in Queens. He's not happy with the Mets. But honestly, I think the biggest factor is not having one or Aaron Judge behind him. He doesn't have Aaron Judge around him. So I think I would say that's probably the biggest thing with Soto. I mean, yes, he does have Lindor batting in front of him. He's got Alonso behind him. But neither one of those guys are Aaron Judge. They're not none of those guys are the best hitter in baseball. He does not have the best hitter in all of baseball. All right. Soto was supposed to be, another thing I wanted to mention was Soto was supposed to be mic'd up yesterday for the game, but told ESPN, like, I guess it was last minute, he told ESPN he didn't want to. So, he just was tired of answering questions about, the Yankees and Aaron Judge. He decided to forego it. But on that note, I got my man Ace waiting in the back. You ready to go, bro? He gave me a thumbs up. All right, I got you. Hold on, let me get you on the screen here. What's up, man?
What up? What's good? Everybody here at the Strike Zone. Hopefully you guys have had yourselves a good Monday after the Subway Series. Everybody make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe. I got NFE over 1,600, almost at 2K. Let's go.
Yeah, and shout out to you, man. Shout out to the Ace Avenue. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Ace Avenue. He's almost there, man. You're almost at that 2K. I know you've been working hard, so you'll get there. So anybody who is not subscribed to the Ace Avenue, make sure you guys subscribe to my man, because not only baseball, he does movie reviews too. So for any of my movie buffs that are out there, and TV buffs, because I know you do TV shows as well, go subscribe to his channel. He does a really good job there. But dude,
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard me talking about, the stats here with the 1, 2, 3 batters with the Mets. I mean, were you shocked at all about how the bats showed up or didn't show up rather in this series? Or what are your thoughts, man? I wanted to get your thoughts on this.
I equate that to good Yankee pitching.
Mm-hmm.
They had some, Carlos Rodon has looked really good this year. Had a
Mm-hmm.
couple of, maybe less than a handful of starts where he didn't really look that good, but overall, he's had a great season in his third year with us as our New York Yankees pitcher. You know what I'm saying? He's getting paid like a top of the line guy, and he has showed up a lot this year. As
Mm-hmm.
opposed to in years past where, we've seen it, we both call the game, stuff like that. We've seen moments where Rodon of years past would have imploded. You know what I'm saying? He seems
Mm-hmm.
to overcome that a lot this year. And it's just a mentality that he has something different. You can just see it in his face. Like, he's not very energetic. He's kind of just, focused. This seems like could it be the bearded Carlos Rodon? Possibly, but the guy just seems super focused this year. Also, somebody's birthday in the chat. Happy birthday to
Yeah,
Andrew.
shout out to Andrew Dang. It's his 25th birthday. Congratulations, making it to a quarter century. Good job. So
Man,
enjoy
you
it.
remember 25? You
Of
remember
course I do.
25?
Of course I do.
You can rent a car now, so congratulations.
Yeah, he rents a car. I
But
think the insurance drops a little bit too, but
oh yeah, just a little bit. Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit.
So Carlos Rodon looked good as well. Clark Schmidt. I've had my issues with Clark Schmidt in the past. Let me tell you
Hmm.
this. I am on the record that I think Clark Schmidt would be a great bullpen piece for us. I've said that numerous times going back to when we had Nestor Cortez, because my issue with Schmidt is, he gets through the inning, he gets through the order, no problem first time. Second and third time, he can kind of get touched up a little bit. But he's had 3 straight starts where he's given us 6 innings with less than 3 runs given up. That's good for a back end of rotation type starter. When guys get healthy, Clark Schmidt is our 5th starter. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get guys like Garrett Cole back next year and even Luis Hill back, Schmidt gets pushed down a little bit in rotation. So that's good. Schmidt has had his ups and downs, you know what I'm saying, with the injuries, stuff like that, but he has impressed me. And then Max Fried is Max Fried. You know what I'm saying? I was on with Jason Custodio yesterday on the series finale, and I was like, man, Max Fried's average went up to 129. That just goes to show you how good he's been this year, where he's been rocking
Hmm.
that 1 ERA, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give more credit to the Yankee pitching and their game plan going in than I am gonna say against the Mets, top 3 guys in Lindor, Soto, and Pete Alonso. Because if you look at the at bats, I think the Yankees had a plan of attack. I think they knew what was going on in this series with Juan Soto. They weren't going to let Soto beat you. Soto took his walks, went 1 for 10 in the series, only had 1 hit, didn't come up with the big hit, but you weren't going to allow the moment of the series to overtake the game plan at the end of the day. So I think Yankee pitching and the game plan had more to do with it than the Mets struggles.
Yeah, 100%. I think the Yankees pitching stepped up big time in this series. We knew what Max Fried was going to do. I was confident what Fried was going to do. Rodon, I was definitely confident. I know, there might be some people out there that said that, Carlos Rodon didn't challenge Juan Soto. Well, you know what? He still had a solid outing. Who cares? I mean, at the end of the day, the Yankees still won. That's the end result. Clark Schmidt, listen, he had, this was his 3rd straight start where he pitched over 6 innings.
Yep.
So he's never done this in his career. So he has come around, I think, as a starter. And I hopefully that consistency continues. And the rotation for the Yankees it has improved as of late, particularly with the rotation ever since they took out Carrasco. I think it's greatly improved it. And then you gotta include Will Warren because he's looked pretty solid in his last few starts too. So he's starting to look a little bit more confident. Looking at the starting pitching, if you look at their stats as of right now, as of today, strictly starting pitching, you're looking at ERA 3.65. They're 9th, but I believe that ERA will drop. I feel like that ERA is just a little high because of the rough starts with Carrasco, with Warren.
Oh,
Clark
absolutely.
Schmidt had a few hiccups too, but you got to keep in
Stroman,
mind Schmidt.
got to throw him in there too.
Stroman, yeah, you got to include Stroman, and then Schmidt Also, Schmidt had to get his feet wet. He needed to go through some struggles because he barely, he was hurt, barely had a spring training. So, 3.65 ERA. So they're ninth in baseball right now, but I think that number will drop. Their WHIP is at 1.16. They're tied for fourth. Strikeout percentage, they're at 24.3. They're fourth there. And the BAA, that number, it's at 208. They're first place in that. So I think, and again, the ERA is just a little inflated right now, but that was due to some bad starts and certain guys that are not in the rotation anymore. But I think once you get Luis Hill coming back into that rotation, I think that rotation is just going to look so much better. And Yarbrough has done a good job of filling in, and I think he could still be that guy. But you definitely got to give credit to the Yankee pitching. I mean, got to give credit to Matt Blake here for doing exactly what they were supposed to do, is stick to the game plan. Don't overthink it. Just go after these guys, and they did. Once again, the 1, 2, 3 batters for the Mets, 4 for 34, which equals about a 117 batting average, and Soto was 1 for 10 in the entire series. I don't know about you. I'm not doing this for like clickbait or anything like that, but does Soto look like himself? Because he doesn't look like he's not like fired up when he was coming up to the at bats, and I don't know, man. It just seems, maybe it's my imagination. I don't know what everybody else in the chat thinks, but it's kind of weird, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Before we get into the Soto stuff too, also shout out to the bullpen as well. Since we were on the pitching topic as well, because holding this Mets team to 7 runs in 3 games is actually really phenomenal. The Mets are one of the best teams in the league. You know what I'm saying? And to all those that were saying the Yankees, couldn't measure up to the good teams in the NL, we're 4-2 against the Padres, who are a top team, and the Mets, who are also a top team. Mets are tied for the second best record in baseball, with the Dodgers only behind the Tigers. So the bullpen also gets some love as well before we get to the Soto stuff. Because like Devin Williams, pitched well. Devin Williams came up in multiple high leverage spots that psychologically was a test. Going against Pete Alonso after the last time they matched up was in the NLCS, and we all know what happened there. Him coming out, striking him out. Luke Weaver, we only saw him one time, but he looked really good. The only person that really had a blemish going in from the bullpen was probably Fernando Cruz. You know what I'm saying? I put that a little bit more on his usage. I don't think Boone put him in the best situation to succeed, but Fernando Cruz has been one of our better relievers. The return of Jonathan Loáisiga was huge. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Loáisiga looked good. We know how nasty stuff he has and how power stuff he has. His only kryptonite is that he can't stay healthy. Hopefully, we, at this point in the season, we can get a healthy Loáisiga. We're getting those reinforcements back. So, on that previous topic, I equated to our pitching was phenomenal. What did you think about the bullpen?
The bullpen, it was just fire. The bullpen was just absolute fire, and they have been fire right now. Again, I got their stats as of right now too. 3.37 ERA right now. They're 8th, but again, I think some of those numbers, especially with like Devin Williams, his numbers are inflated right now. I think that's a big cause of why that ERA is up where it is right now. But with him improving during his outings, that because right now his ERA is around 7 it's like 7 over 7. I know that, but it's coming down. The WHIP is at 1.19. They're 8th in that. But strikeout percentage, 26.8. They're 3rd. And then the BAA is 196. They're 3rd there. So, I mean, again, the ERA is a little bit inflated for the bullpen, but I feel like that number will continue coming down, especially with the addition, Jonathan Loáisiga coming back. He's been looking freaking solid on the mound. And then, you slowly but surely, you're gonna get back Clayton Beeter at some point. The Yankees
Cousins
are
too.
Who's that?
Jake Cousins too.
Yeah, Jake Cousins at some point he's going to come back. He was shut down though for 4 to 5 days with a pectoral issue, but according to Boone, it wasn't anything major. You also got Brewbreaker. You got Scott Efros. I mean, so what I'm saying is, Yankees have a bunch of guys coming, a bunch of arms coming back. And this when they go to excuse me, I'm dating myself here, City Field. I almost said Shea Stadium. When they go back to City Field, yeah, it's going to be a different story in City Field. Yeah, we're going into Queens. They're going into Mets territory, but the fact of the matter is, this team is going to look a lot different the next time they play them. So, because
Absolutely.
by then you're probably going to have Giancarlo back, you're going to have Luis Hill coming back, and they're going to have a bunch of arms coming back. So, and then you also got Jazz Chisholm, right? So
Yeah,
Jazz
potentially
Chisholm's going to
Jazz as
be
well.
back too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so they're going to have a bunch of guys coming back. But yeah, I think the pitching for the Yankees though, I think that was besides the offense, which we'll talk about, but the pitching has been phenomenal. Yeah, they held the Mets to only 7 runs. That in this entire series, Mets only scored 7 runs, whereas the Yankees scored 16. So there was all these questions about the Yankees offense going into the season. How do they replace Soto's production? What are they going to do? Soto took us to the World Series, which these things are true, right? But I feel like the Yankees had an answer, in the series. I think they had an answer for everything. So,
Yeah.
but let me get your thoughts on that, man.
Oh yeah, I agree. Um, Multiple things can be true. You know what I'm saying? Like Soto, was a big piece for us last year, no doubt. But the plan B has been a great pivot. You know what I'm saying? And it's fitting that we saw the plan B pieces all shine in this series. Max Fried looked really good. Cody Bellinger, who's tearing it up right now on a 13-game hitting streak, his career high. A couple of home runs, one of them being a grand slam in this series. Paul Goldschmidt came through with a real clutch hit as well. Trent Grisham as well has been good. We don't know if we keep Trent Grisham if we sign Juan Soto. We don't know if he gets released, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what I'm saying? Just to save a little bit of money to try to invest somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Devin Williams also coming in. You know what I'm saying? So we saw all the pieces, all the plan B pieces show up exactly when they're supposed to, because let's be honest. Aaron Judge had a quiet series. So did
Yeah,
Juan Soto, so did Pete Alonso. There wasn't a lot of star power in this series, but the other guys needed to step up. And they absolutely did. They did their job. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about, the bullpen looked phenomenal as well. And when Devin Williams, like I said, I believe this is 8 out of the last 9 outings he's had
yeah,
without giving up a run. And the ERA, to your point, like you were saying, the ERA is high. The numbers when it comes to a situation like that don't really tell it, because like it's harder for bullpen guys to get their ERA to drop down because they're only pitching 3 outs. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So, and if they give up a run, it gets inflated just because of how math works. It's just math. They're not getting enough time to get those runs down like starting pitchers. So they kind of need consistent outings where they don't really give up anything to get the ERA down. But, since we're talking about ERA, look at Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver kind of balances that out. He's got an 0.44 ERA. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of balancing it out. But it looks really, really good at the end of the day. But the Yankees have, in my opinion, pivoted perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to Cashman. You know what I'm saying? Hats off to Howe for making the moves they're supposed to make, because, Soto was one guy. The Yankees feel like more of a complete team than we did last year. Like I continue to say, last year we were a tandem. Severino was right. We had only 2 good hitters. This year we feel more complete 1 through 9. And even when some guys are struggling, like, Wells and Volpe are kind of, slumping right now, other guys are there to pick up the slack. You know what I'm saying? Ben Rice has cooled off a little bit as of late, but we know what he's contributed. You know what I'm saying? Grisham has cooled off a little bit as of late as well, but we know what he's contributed.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball is a game where you don't need everybody to be hot for 3 weeks, because then everybody cools down at the same time. Certain guys need to be hot at a certain time. Like you'll get Grisham and Rice, you know what I'm saying, hot, say 2 weeks ago. Now you got Bellinger heating up. You got Goldschmidt, who's been consistent. Aaron Judge, the best player on the planet. Volpe might get hot for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Jazz was cold for a little bit. Maybe he'll ramp things up. That's just baseball. And when you have a more complete team, you're not relying and putting a lot of pressure on a guy like Juan Soto. Juan Soto is dealing with a shit ton of pressure right now. Like you can tell. And like you had asked me earlier, does he look different? I'm going to say yes. Mechanically, they were showing some stuff that he looks like, mechanically he looks a little bit different. Like, could it be as simple as he's having a hard time living up to the contract? Like, possibly, you know what I'm saying? We don't really know. the grass and the money isn't always green on the other side. Like
Right.
in my opinion, after watching this series and the reports are coming out, I'm gonna tell you this: I think he misses being a Yankee. I'm telling you, because it feels like a different Soto than what we've seen from previous years. He's not as enthusiastic. He's not having these special handshakes with all his teammates, going crazy. It wasn't until this series that we saw the biggest smile on his face talking to Judge, talking to Jazz, talking to Boone. You know what I'm saying? Like, multiple things can be true. Yes, he went for the money, but he could still miss being here. You know what I'm saying? But whether he does or not, at the end of the day, I don't care. He's not a New York Yankee. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We look pretty damn good as a team. Second best team in the AL behind the Tigers, who have gotten off to a great start.
Yeah.
And you know, they were one of my dark horses to make a run, and they got great pitching. But, you know, and they've already beaten us in the series. But I like where we stand right now. I think the organization has done a good job, and we're only going to get better because we're going to get reinforcements. And I expect this year for Cashman and company to attack the deadline with possibly a third baseman. You know what I'm saying? Because we still have a couple holes in the infield. DJ LeMahieu, I got to eat shit, at least for the first series. DJ LeMahieu came back, and he looked pretty damn good defensively and offensively. He did well for us. You know what I'm saying? Came up with some big hits, stuff like that. But, you know, we got to see, but we need to make some upgrades. Losing Waldo hurt, you know what I'm saying? So we need to make some upgrades at third base. Maybe when Jazz comes back, they'll move DJ Moore over to third, and we'll see what happens. You know, you could always add arms, but, you know, ultimately we'll see what happens. But Soto, tough shit. Like I said, it's not always green on the other side. So,
Yeah, and you know, this isn't like a Juan Soto bashing thing. Like, I'm not trying to bash the guy or whatever, but it just seemed like everything about his body language with the team right now with the Mets, it just seems a lot different. But you know, hey, you know what? It's like he made his choice. It sounded like it was more. You know, they're making it sound like it was more his like mother and his family. Like, yeah, his family driving him to be like, hey, go to the Mets, go to the Mets, go to the Mets. But I think we'll see what the next 15 years tells us. You know, it's going to be a lot of years. We'll see what his career looks like, you know, by the time it's all over. But, you know, the Yankees plan B, though, you know what I mean? Because plan B success, you know, as the title says, man, you know, just to read once again, I'll read off Goldschmidt's numbers and Bellinger's along with, and then Max Fried. You know, Goldschmidt right now, 5 home runs, 25 ribbies, batting average of 339, OPS 878. Bellinger, you know, 7 home runs, 28 RBIs, a batting average of 259, 789 OPS. Bellinger hit in this series, he batted 636.
yeah,
So,
I got the stats. 7 of 11. Yeah, because I had the stats from yesterday.
yeah.
Bellinger, 7 of 11, 7 RBIs, 2 home runs, and a couple of walks. So this dude was tearing it up, man. I think when it comes to Cody Bellinger, okay, I said earlier that star power, the superstar power didn't really shine, but Cody Bellinger seems like a star in the league. Like, he's former rookie of the year, you know what I'm saying, champion, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. He's proven, you know what I'm saying, MVP, stuff like that. I really think his back was the problem. It's no coincidence, man. It really is no coincidence because, like, he got off to such a hot start, you know what I'm saying, spring training. Then the back issues flared up, and he got off. Then all of a sudden he started slumping. I think the back was definitely the issue. He's definitely, you know, feels like he's getting healthier. The glove was always there. The defense was great. Made another great play defensively that saved the run. You know what I'm saying? Backing up Jason Dominguez. Ball goes over his head twice. One off the bat, one off the wall. If he doesn't back him up, the run scores easily. But Bellinger came up big in some moments, and that bodes well for us because you're not gonna pitch around Aaron Judge if Cody Bellinger's hitting like this. And it just goes to show you, like, I've been very impressed. Dude, he's got his average back up to 258 in like a week and a half.
This is what I'm saying, because then the beginning of the month, in the beginning of the month, he was below 200, and for it to go up to 258, 259. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! I was like, that's a big jump, and that's not just like that's not an accident. This dude's bat is really coming around. So
12 hits in the last 5 games.
What was that?
12 hits in the last 5 games.
Yeah,
he has.
Yeah. He's just been on fire. He's just been on fire. I mean, like I said, beginning of May, he was below 200. I was like, this isn't Cody Bellinger. I was like, nah, something is off. You mentioned the back. I think it was the back and, you know, the back issues and then the food poisoning. I mean, it was just like one thing after another.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, the food poisoning, which was kind of
He wasn't the only one, right?
No, he wasn't the only one. Austin Wells was the other guy.
That's right. That
Yeah,
Can
Wells was the
we
other guy.
can we get some like custom chefs or something like that? Yankees got the money, man. Like they need
Well,
these
I
guys. Between that and the one gripe that gets me, our Saturday record stinks, bro. Like we haven't won a game on Saturday since I think April 12th versus the Giants. Like I don't know what these guys are doing Friday night, but they just go out to dinner, bro. Like go out to dinner, stop. I don't know what they're doing. They're partying too hard, but they come back in the day games and fucking stink.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I don't know what yeah, like you said, I don't know what it was about these day games. Like on Saturday against the Mets, I'm like, okay, they might actually pull this off, but nope, they didn't. Obviously Saturday, I mean, just their bats. I mean, neither team's bats were that great, but I mean, it just kind of sucked that the Yankees didn't win, but that's okay. They still won 2 out of 3, and Max Fried, who was part of that Plan B. You know what I mean? Right now, still 6-0 record with 62 and 2/3 innings pitched so far, 60 strikeouts, ERA sitting pretty at 1.29. It's gone up a little bit, but come on, are we going to complain about 1.29? I'm not going to.
No, no way.
Fried, yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, especially in this day and age of baseball, Fried is pitching to the back of his baseball card. So Fried's been on a roll. So I have no issues with Fried, Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and then Devin Williams, right? He's been looking good. So far, I mean, I feel like the Yankee season, although it's only the month of May, I think these guys are clicking. I think things are starting to make sense, and it's all starting to come together. Yeah, there's going to be games that they're going to lose. Let's just face it. It's going to happen. So we can't act, because a lot of times there's fans that act like, okay, when they win a game, it's like, yeah, best team in baseball. They're gonna go all the way, and then when they lose, it's like, this team sucks. They're never gonna win a World Series. And I'm like, okay, let's kind of come back to planet Earth for a minute. But yeah, man, I'm just really, I was just looking at the numbers and the stats and everything, and I just feel as though it's just very telling, man. Just the Yankees Plan B players just having some success in the series, and Soto just not so much, man. Soto once, and I'll say these stats again for like as of today, May 19th, 2025. 8 homers, 20 ribbies, 246 batting average right now, 822 OPS. Whereas last year on this date, he had 11 homers, 37 RBIs, 311 batting average, 963 OPS. So numbers have dropped a little bit for him. Now I know it's still early in the season. I mean, those numbers could change, but I'm just saying he does not have Aaron Judge around him. I know he's got Lindor, I know he's got Alonso, but neither one of those guys come anywhere close to what Aaron Judge is.
No.
So I think that's the other thing. Lou, the only reason why Soto is a topic is because of all the things that were said about.
Can't escape it.
Yeah, you can't really escape it. The reason why why I'm making this a topic is because there were so many doubters about the Yankees going into the 2025 season. What are they going to do without Soto? They're not going to have that production. They got Bellinger. He's not Soto. They got they got Goldschmidt. He's 37 years old. What is this guy going to do? He's an old guy. Like, what is he going to do? I mean, I'm just saying right now the Yankees off. The point I'm trying to make here is that the bats are coming through for the Yankees without in Soto's absence. That's where I'm going with this. So that's why I'm making this a topic.
And on top of that, more importantly, it's NFE's channel. He could talk about whatever he wants. So, but I think also, because you were talking about Aaron Judge not behind him. Also, Pete Alonso's been struggling in the month of May. So he's batting like 1-something. Time. So
Pete Alonso was invisible in this series. I mean, Pete Alonso, let's see. He had 12 at bats and only got 2 hits. He struck out like 3 or 4 times. I mean, he didn't really have a good series. Lindor, forget it. I mean, Lindor only had 1 hit in this series too. And he had 12 at bats as well.
Yeah. Like I said, I chalk it up to Yankee pitching. Here's a stat that, another some other content creators just posted about
Sure.
Matt Blake and how well he does pitching wise. Yankee pitching 2.6 ERA with a 25.9 K percentage. That's in the month of May. That's really good pitching. So Yankee pitching has become a strength. You know what I'm saying? And we've said this a couple times. Like there are games that I go back and I look at right now where we lost to the Padres 4-3, right? We lost to the Oakland A's 7-4 after having a big lead late. We lost to the Mariners 2-1. We lost to the Mets 3-2. Those are games where if one or two things bounce your way or something changes, dude, we could be on like at least a 15-game winning streak right now. Like
Yeah.
this is how good
Yeah.
this team really is. You know what I'm saying? Like this team 1-9, like I said, because of the plan Bs, like it looks really good. And you got to give credit to Cashman. You got to give credit to Boone. You got to give credit to Howe, you know what I'm saying, for constructing this team. And this team looks like a team that can go all the way.
Yeah, 100%. And and then we talked plenty about the pitching, the offense for the Yankees. The 79 home runs, they're first. They lead their first place in walk percentage with 10.6, WRC plus at 133. They're first there. A 13 FWAR, they're first place there. So Yankees
Where we at in run
offense,
scored? Where
huh?
are we at in run scored? Where are we at in run scored? Does it show
Runs
you?
scored.
We've got to be close to the top, if not number one in run scored.
I'd have to look that up, but they got to be top three in that. So
Yeah.
they have to be in the top in that. But I feel like the month of May has treated the Yankees very well, though. I mean, this is their fourth straight series that they won. Going back to San Diego, they beat the Padres, they beat Oakland, they beat the Mariners, they beat the Mets, and I don't, none of those teams I take lightly. The Padres. Let's be honest, a lot of us, we were very, very worried about going into that series because of the lineup and their pitching, because the Padres do have that, and they're hanging in there tough in the NL West, right? And the Yankees pulled through. After that series, I was just like, this team is showing me something, because they beat a very good Padres team in the series. I don't think anybody expected that. I'll be honest, I didn't expect it. I thought they would have, 1 out of 3, maybe. And the way they were playing prior to that series, I thought maybe they would have gotten swept, but they didn't. And then they go on to Sacramento, but they're just called the Athletics. They beat the Athletics 2 out of
That's
3,
so
and
weird.
then yeah, I know. And then they beat Seattle, who is another good team. I'm not taking them lightly.
First place in the West.
Yeah, they're first place in the West. They beat them 2 out of 3, and then they just beat another first place team in the Mets 2 out of 3,
Yep.
and the Mets, again, during the offseason, there was just all this talk that the Mets are the big bros now. They're going to spank the Yankees. What happened?
Exactly. So now we gotta keep it going. You know what I'm saying? We got a big series versus Texas, who Texas is a little over 500, but you can't ever really take them light. And then you got a big series over there this weekend that you'll be going to. I'm happy for you. You'll be watching the Rockies. Then we got a 9-game West Coast trip. You got to watch out for the Angels. They just swept the Dodgers. So
I
you gotta watch out.
know. Isn't that something? The team, what the Angels are, what, 4th or 5th place right now in the AL West, right?
They're in 5th place. They're 20 and 25.
Last
But
place, and they sweep the Dodgers. I mean, baseball, it's a funny game.
I can just imagine the people that lost a lot of money on that series, because you're thinking like Dodgers will beat the Angels game 1. Oh, they lost. There's no way they'll lose game 2. I'm going to bet money on the Dodgers. They lose game 2. You're like, okay, well, they're definitely not getting swept. Let me bet money on game 3. Clean sweep. So if you bet money on the Angels all weekend, you probably won some bread, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely some play money right there that you probably won. But yeah, that was bizarre, man. And and as far as other baseball news, you heard about Colton Wong. He ended up retiring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he ended up retiring. So
Okay.
I think it was like a second baseman for the Cardinals. And then Matt Carpenter also ended up retiring as well. So
the former Yankee great.
yeah, so a few guys, man, a few guys, but yeah, man. I mean, it just, I was just, just looking back at the series, I looked back at the series and I was just like, the Yankees bats just held it down, or Yankees bats and pitching, they just held it down. And even in the game that they lost, they still held it down. The only problem was just, the bats didn't come through. But it came. But in the games that they won, they came through when they mattered, especially in that. I'm just so happy for once that the opposing team makes an error, and I'm talking about the Pete Alonso throw, where the Yankees scored the run and took the lead, and then it just took off from there. Because how many times have we seen? And Texas Liberty calling you out. What's up, man? How many times have we seen where the Yankees make an error or they make a mistake defensively, and then the other team just makes the Yankees pay for it? And we've seen that so many times. I'm like, can we just like can we just have have it work out for the Yankees just one time? you know? And then it did. It worked out the one time, man. I was like, it's about freaking time.
Yeah, but that's baseball though. We notice it more because we focus on the Yankees, but it happens all around the league though. You got to take advantage of opportunities. Like the Yankee hitting, there are times where they don't take advantage of opportunities, like runners in scoring position. We tend to, drop the ball. You and I talk about it all the time, situational hitting. I say situational at bats, having better situational at bats. The reason why I say situational at bats is because of an at bat that probably turned the momentum. Vivas' at bat. You didn't get a hit. You put the ball in play. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Dude saw 11 pitches. 10 of those 11 were over 100 miles per hour. He saw one splitter that he fouled away. What's up to my boy Jason Custodio? What's good, brother?
I would like to link up with Jason Custodio one of these days. I want to get Jason on the show. So
definitely. Jason's a good dude, man. Knows his stuff. Good job on the overnight stuff like that. Jason, man, what's good, brother? But 11 pitches that he saw. One of them was 90 on a splitter that he fought off, but it was just a good at bat. And especially like, it's not easy to throw 11 100 or 10 100 mile per hour pitches. Dude, that tires you out. And next thing you know, Vivas puts the ball in play, good things happen. Do you think he would have been out? It would have been a close play. And we saw earlier in the season that we saw earlier in the series that Dominguez got thrown out of home in the same situation. And I said it. I was like, bro, you didn't get a good jump. He seemed to have learned from that situation and got a better jump and then scored. Do you think he would have scored if the throw was at least a little bit better?
That was the question I was wondering about, and I'm glad you asked. I think he would have beaten out that throw because I think this time around, I think he got a very good jump on that hit by Vivas. I know, as soon as it was hit to Alonso, you knew he was going to throw home. But I think even if he made a good throw to Alvarado, I think he would have scored. I truly believe he would have scored. I think he would have beaten out the throw. That's what and I'm not just saying that just to say that, but just looking at the replay, the way Dominguez was running home, I was like, even if he made that throw, I believe that he would have still scored on that play. Yeah, I do.
Would have took a perfect throw, but the Yankees capitalized. That wasn't the only Alonso thing. When Lindor made an error to Alonso, we capitalized on that as well. Unlike Juan Soto, the Yankees had good hustle in this series. Soto's catching a lot of slack for not hustling out of the box. We saw Cody Bellinger beat the pitcher out to the box. We've seen Goldschmidt, hustling. Dominguez was doing his thing as well. Yankees, there was juice in this series. Like let's be honest. There was a lot of juice in this series. Like, I like the fact that Soto's on the Mets because it brings that intensity to this rivalry now, to what's becoming like, the Subway Series rivalry, right? And Met fans have always got juiced up for this. Like, they swept us last year. They got Soto from us. Now they're complaining when Yankee fans are giving them a taste of their own medicine because we're giving them shit now because we beat them. You can't do that. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Met fans are saying like, oh yeah, this was the Yankees World Series. Motherfucker, we just went to the World Series. We're not worried about that. We just came from the World Series. But it was good to go out there and do what you got to do, but you have to keep it going if you're a Yankee fan. Like, if you're the New York Yankees. You can't just say, okay, we beat them. Let's just go ahead and drop the next 3 series. No, got to keep it going. Got to win series. And we have some winnable games coming up. Going on another West Coast trip in 1 month sucks, but, you got to do what you got to do. And hopefully, I think Rockies, we should be able to handle. A's, we should be able to handle. Dodgers, I got us taking that series because now they're going through their injuries. Everybody was all, gassed up. Oh, they got Blake Snell. They got a lot of their pitchers are hitting that IL. You know what I'm saying? They're going through their injuries, so they're a team that's very gettable. Then we're going against the Guardians. We usually play well against them. Red Sox. I'm looking at that Royals Red Sox series is going to be an interesting way to cap off this difficult month. Then we got the Angels and Orioles, so the Yankees might be able to put, and we're already 5 games up. Oddly enough, we kind of got to root for the Mets tonight because they're going against the Red Sox.
Well,
but
yeah. Sometimes it's business. Sometimes you got to root for the teams that you don't want to root for, but it's going to benefit.
If Juan Soto really misses the Yankees, he'll go off against the Red Sox this series.
There you go. Yeah, 100%. And did you by any chance see that article that was out about Soto from Bob Clappish? No, I'll pull it up.
Oh yeah. No. I didn't read it, but I've heard everybody talking about it. So yeah, I pretty much know what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I could zoom in here. I know probably make this full screen if anything. I could read it too. You know what I mean? But it says he'd agreed to be mic'd up by ESPN in the second inning, but changed his mind minutes before the game. Soto told Mets officials he was tired of answering questions about Yankees captain Aaron Judge and sick of explaining why he chose the Mets, which I don't blame him for whatsoever. And then it continues to say, just as Soto turned his back on ESPN, he did the same to reporters who were waiting to speak to him. In the postgame clubhouse, Soto got dressed and began walking towards the door. He told the Mets official he'd be back to answer questions after seeing family members outside. Soto never returned. That's not the same stand-up guy who was always at his locker last season, even after being skewered. But on Friday, Soto spoke of the obligation to, quote, take it like a man. And then 2 days later, he was running for the exit. These are troubling signs for the Mets hierarchy. I'm told they're concerned about Soto's lack of enthusiasm for his new team. The only time Soto seemed happy this weekend was while he interacted with Judge manager Aaron Boone and second baseman Jazz Chisholm during batting practice. And then it says here the man is downright miserable. Although Soto said he was ready for the homecoming, he was shell-shocked by the time Sunday night rolled around. 3 sellout crowds broke him. That was by Bob Clappish. Now, let me get you back here. What the hell am I doing? Oh, there we go. Cool.
That's what it sounds like to me. I can't take the look, man. You're the guy now, bro. Like realistically, you're the guy now. Now you know what it's like to be Aaron Judge. You can't just, you can't run from the podium, dude. Like that makes you look worse, bro. It really does. Like, and look, I got no love lost at the end of the day. Like for me, I don't dislike Juan Soto. He's actually probably one of my favorite non-Yankees. I was enamored when he was on the Yankees. Him and I have the same last name. His second last name is the same as mine. You know what I'm saying? I rooted for the dude. But now that he's not here, you know what I'm saying? He might be starting to realize the grass ain't always greener when you don't got the best player on the planet behind you. But you can't run from it, man. This is New York City.
Yeah, I don't think he knows what he was up against. And Stephen B, for like the millionth time, Ace and I look nothing like, just because we both have beards. Come on,
Yeah, right. Both light skin with beards. All right.
Yeah, I know. No. Yeah. What are you trying to tell us, man?
Yeah, right.
But anyway, no, listen, I don't have a problem with Soto. Like, I'm not trying to bash the guy once again, but it was just, I don't blame him for not wanting to be mic'd up because, it was just going to be the same old freaking questions. Judge and the Yankees.
I'd be tired of it too.
No. I'd be tired of it too. I'd be tired of it because, New York media is very unforgiving, especially New York media. Those guys forget it. If they get a story or you say something, they're gonna run with it.
Especially if you're gonna get asked the same stuff you've been asked a million times. Like if I was Juan Soto, I'm like, okay, what are you gonna ask me? Are you gonna ask me what's it like to be back, with the fans? Okay, you know what? I haven't been asked that, I'm saying too much. But from what they were saying, you're gonna ask me what it's like to not have Judge behind me. Didn't I already talk about this? And then whatever I say, you're gonna flip my words. And so I understand to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
It's good banter back and forth. I understand, the shit talking when it comes to Yankees and Mets. But I could see how he'd be a little tired of it by now, because I would too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. But Yeah, look, I just looking at him on the team, man, over the weekend, because I haven't really watched a whole lot of Mets games, I'll be honest with you. Not because it's the Mets. I just literally, I haven't really watched a lot of Mets games, but just from seeing what I saw from over the weekend, man, it just it just looked like he was just didn't look happy. He didn't look like himself. He wasn't like, all fired up at the plate doing the Soto shuffle and staring down the opposing pitcher if they didn't throw a strike at him, and instead they threw a ball. I at the end of the day, look, Soto made his decision. He wanted to go to the Mets. It was all about the money. The family also influenced him. I think he would have much preferred for the Yankees, but I think he faced a lot of pressure from his family. But hopefully, he has to live with it now. He has to lie in bed and sleep with it. So, for his sake, he better hope that he made the right decision. But going back to the original title here, the Plan B. I mean, the Plan B seems to have worked out in this Subway Series. I mean, it was a test, and there was a bunch of question marks about what this 2025 Yankees team was going to look like. But I feel like this team is very productive. I feel like you're getting a lot of production out of these guys, especially, with the pitching, with the bats. I know that, with the bats, there's a couple of guys that are a little disappointing for me, but, I just wish they can absolutely step it up. Although, credit to, we mentioned Austin Wells. Got to give him a little bit of credit because he came through with a big hit yesterday on that double. So that was a big one. And I thought that was a big deal. And it's like, if the Yankees don't capitalize here, I was like, I don't know what else to say, because when Volpe struck out twice with the bases loaded, I'm like, I was like, slamming my fist on the table. I was like this the whole freaking time.
Not just that, because I go to bat for Volpe, man, for real, like more than a lot of other people do, and more than probably than I should, because I'm like, I try to see like the vitriol of it, where people just, first things first, he's not Derek Jeter. Can we stop with this? Every shortstop has to be Jeter. Every closer has to be Mariano. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are like, he's not Jeter. No one anointed him Jeter but the fans. You know what I'm saying? He's not up there to talk about, I want to be Derek Jeter. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a guy that's very streaky. We can see him get hot, but he stays cold a lot. But that approach yesterday started to piss me off, because I'm like, dude, you had 3 opportunities to give us the lead if you just took a pitch. Like, why? What are you swinging at? You know what I'm saying? Stop. But that's not just him. Austin Wells does the same thing. I tweeted this. There's not a pitch outside the zone that Austin Wells doesn't like, because he chases too. You know what I'm saying? You can rack that up to them being young. They're still both young players. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't expect everybody to have instant success, but they're both still young guys. But I just need to, being that we have guys like Cody Bellinger stepping up. Goldschmidt has been, I say this all the time. Goldschmidt has been the biggest steal signing of the MLB, in my opinion. Name me a player that, for the amount that he's getting paid, has given his production.
I mean, there's no one. I mean, right now, like, Pete Alonso's getting paid more than he is, but Goldschmidt's he's having a better productive year so far. He's having, there's more productivity out of him, but there's no argument. And Goldschmidt, that signing was getting crapped on by so many Yankees fans. I couldn't even believe it. Now, did I expect Goldschmidt's batting average to be as high as it is? No, I didn't. Honestly, I thought he was going to be average. I thought, if this guy could give us like 250, 260, I'd be happy with it. I was more happy because we actually were getting a first baseman that could play first base and could make plays, and as a Gold Glover. That's what I was happy about when the Goldschmidt signing happened. But he's doing a lot better, and he's doing a lot better for $12.5 million with those numbers. You know what? That is a steal all day. And so I'll take those numbers from Paul Goldschmidt 100%, man.
Absolutely. The expectation for a lot of us was be better than Rizzo.
Right.
Be better than Rizzo was last year. That's what the expectation was. Same thing with Jason Dominguez, who quietly is having a good year as well. Jason Dominguez tearing it up, especially from the left side. And the expectation for him was be better than what we got from Verdugo last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's as simple as that. But to have the year that Paul Goldschmidt is having, this dude is killing it, man. Like a 1.3 WAR, 59 hits, 5 home runs, 339
Yeah.
batting average, dude. That hit that he gave us some wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? After we got the lead, it's not easy to climb the ladder and hit a 99-mile-per-hour fastball right back up the middle. It's not. He's a professional
No.
hitter. He knows exactly what to do. I have complete faith that when Goldie gets up, that he's going to come through. And I feel like the Yankees are figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we perfect? No. But we're doing what we're supposed to do. Win collective series in a row and just do what you're supposed to do. And Aaron Judge continues to be the best player on the planet. Had a little bit of a quiet series, you know what I'm saying? But came through with a big double, came through with some big at-bats. But he's starting to get the walks. You know what I'm saying? We saw the intentional walk, then we saw the unintentional intentional walk. You know what I'm saying? Because teams are going to not let Judge beat you, but that's why you need Cody Bellinger to step up. You know what I'm saying? Bellinger came through big. Judge couldn't come through yesterday, but Cody Bellinger said, "I got you." Put the game away with that grand slam. And how fitting was it that it was right over the head of Soto?
That was fitting. I was like, yeah, just to make it make it miserable for him. But yeah, with Dominguez, right now his batting average is sitting at 246. And I said in the offseason, if Dominguez could hit 250 with 20 home runs, sign me up. Like I'll take that. I'll take that season from him. You know what I mean? But I think he's slowly coming around. But the biggest complaint with Dominguez is when he bats from the right side of the plate of the batter's
He
box.
has been
Like,
better as of late, though. At
he
the
has
last
been a
couple of
little bit
games, he has
better.
been
Yeah.
better.
Well, you got to give him time, right? You got to give him time. Let him make his mistakes. Let him make his adjustments from the right side of the plate. If you're gonna give these young guys time, if once again, if a lot of fans want to give these young players, give the farm a chance, you got to let them develop because they're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna trip. They're gonna fall. That's the only way they're gonna learn.
And I'm
So
gonna knock on wood here too. Defensively, he's been good. Like the fact
he
that we're
has
not
been.
talking about it a lot, that
Yeah.
goes to show you defensively he's been good. Like it
Yeah.
hasn't been as bad as what people have thought it was gonna be. So, are we asking him to be all-star? No, he's got to develop. You know what I'm saying? We're asking him to just, do your job, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. And so far, Dominguez has been a bright spot in this team offensively and defensively. He's been just good enough to get us by.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, again, I'm happy with Plan B. I'm happy with what the Mets or what they did against the Mets in this series. It's very telling what this team is capable of. Now, they don't have a game tonight, but they do start the series tomorrow against the Texas Rangers. Let me get your thoughts on the Rangers series real quick, and then we'll slowly close it out.
Yeah. Can't take your foot off the gas. You know what I'm saying? You got to handle your business. Jacob deGrom on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy that does have experience against the Yankees, but we got to do what we got to do. Weird start time on Thursday though. 12:35 is such a weird start time for real. To have a
Well,
game that early.
yeah,
So
well, you got to think of it as like the Yankees are going to come out here. They're going to travel
yeah.
out here.
Oh yeah. So
So,
of course they're trying to give him
yeah,
some more
unless
time,
if
which
they could have played game one today and they said, okay, you know what,
giving us
games,
a day
what,
off on Thursday.
yeah, and give a day off on Thursday and then let them while they travel out here to Colorado. But,
Yep. That's the
well,
schedule
maybe,
makers, bro.
yeah,
Schedule
I
makers
know.
screwed us this year. Second West Coast trip in a month. But
Well,
the Yankees are looking to get through it. So, but you can't take your foot off the gas. Like you got to do what you got to do. Handle your business. I expect to take at least 2 out of 3. You know what I'm saying? Then get ready for that 9-game West Coast trip. You know what I'm saying? Where you'll be at the game. You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna? Where are you sitting at?
okay, so the Friday night game with the I'm going to be with the family. My brother got tickets for all of us. We're going to be on the third base side on the upper deck. So that'll be where the Yankees dugout will be, but on the third base side in the upper deck.
Mm-hmm.
Second game is going to be the same. Third game I'll be left field in
Okay.
the lower sections. So
So we might see NFE catch a home run or something like that.
I
Maybe.
mean if yeah, I'll hold my hand out or something and see if they
Don't
can.
be like Max. Max missed his opportunity. He was out in right field. Ball went right over his glove, man. It hit him in the glove and went over. If he's watching, he knows.
For sure, man. But just to give you the probables for Yankees versus Rangers. So Will Warren versus Patrick Corbin, Ryan Yarbrough versus Jacob deGrom, Carlos Rodon versus Nathan Eovaldi. So there'll be some interesting matchups there, but I do feel as though that they can, take 2 out of 3. I do believe that they could take 2 out of 3 against the Rangers. I expect them to lose one. If I'm being honest, just because it's just that feeling that I'm getting. But I do expect them to win 2 out of 3 in that series, and then when they come out here to Colorado, they should sweep the Rockies. I mean, worst team in baseball, but you never know.
Yeah, maybe we'll see some home runs flying out of there because it flies out of there in Coors Field.
Yeah,
so,
well, the air is thinner out here, so
yeah.
But we'll see
it's
what
a
happens.
Series that we gotta handle our business, man. It's as simple as that. Could I see the Yankees dropping first game of the series? Possibly, after all the hype and the day off and stuff like that. But I look forward to seeing this team, like I said, handle their business and do what they're supposed to do. I got 2 out of 3. Let's take 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I think they'll take 2 out of 3 as well. But I know I'll definitely be live tomorrow for the play-by-play. I'm assuming you will be as well. There's no doubt, right?
Yeah, the only one I'm missing is Thursday. I'm not going to be live Thursday because I'm taking my niece to see Lilo and Stitch.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. That's more important anyway, man. Taking a niece to go see the movie Lilo and Stitch. You're going to do a movie review?
Right after. Yep. Yankees I'll be off that day. So
Let's go.
After that, I'll be doing a short movie review. Not going to be too not in depth on it. You know what I'm saying? Because those type of movies, they're for kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to rip apart a kid's movie like, no, da-da-da type stuff. But, I give my thoughts on it. No, but I say that because there are creators that do that. There are creators that go all in, like, and critique the hell out of kids' movies. I'm like, bro, it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as the kids enjoyed it, as long as my niece enjoys it, that's all I care about.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, man. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what the Yankees do in this series. That's coming up here against Texas. That'll at least be at Yankee Stadium still, so the Yankees aren't going anywhere until they fly out here to where I live. Starting on Friday. So once again, I'm looking forward to that. But Ace, you already know, bro. I love having you on here, man. So it's always a pleasure. I saw you in the chat.
Wait, before we get out of here, what are you eating, bro? We gotta,
the student.
What are you guys eating in the
started
chat?
Something, didn't I?
Yeah, you forgot, bro. Like, you gotta, what are you guys eating?
Yeah, well, you know what? Here, just let Ace know what you're eating, because Ace is hungry, I think. So give Ace some ideas here, folks. I don't know what I'm eating.
I got mom's home cooked spaghetti. Know what I'm saying? His arms are steady, knees weak, arms are heavy.
Oh, man.
On his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. He's nervous.
Beagle Dad says ground beef and some cheese.
That's not bad.
Desiree says she's eating now. What are you eating, Desiree? Let me know, or let us know. Stephen B says burgers, not sure for sides. I mean, fries, you can't go wrong with fries. Leftover pizza for nosebleed. Okay. Let's see some more food. Come on. This is where everybody should be like typing away.
The question is, what are you going to eat at the stadium this weekend?
At the stadium? I know they have like a smash burger there, so I might go pick up some smash burger. That place is pretty good. I think they have like these chicken strips that are at the game. I always go for a pretzel. Stuff like that. The Ace thinks tacos no shells.
Yeah, like a sloppy Joe.
Okay.
With, beef with cheese.
You're not trying to have too much salt there, Stephen B. Okay, I understand. John is doing a 24-hour fast. Desiree's says grilled cheese and cucumber feta salad, my comfort food. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Ice cream. I mean, I'm probably gonna have some ice cream for sure, or like those Dippin' Dots or something. Yeah. I know when I went to Ball Arena where the Nuggets played, they had a Mr. Softy stand, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta go! I wish Coors Field had that. If they do, I'm definitely gonna get some Mr. Softy ice cream if Coors Field has something like that. But yeah, I always get like the snacks and all that. So
John said have a glizzy.
What was that?
John said have a glizzy, a hot dog. So.
A hot dog? Nah, I'm good.
Nothing wrong with a hot dog at a ballpark. That's kind of synonymous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think burgers are really like ballpark food.
I
I mean,
don't.
I know they got the 99 burger, but hot dogs are more synonymous with baseball, I feel like.
Yeah. Don't worry, Stephen B. I went to the store and got some cheesecake and had it with the family. So yeah, okay. Yassine says chicken cheesesteak and buffalo boneless bites with buffalo sauce. That sounds freaking amazing right now.
I'm not the biggest buffalo sauce person, you know. I'd rather have a
Preach their
nice
own.
little barbecue sauce, know what I mean?
Okay,
But yeah, it does sound good, Yassine. So
that sounds amazing. Yeah, I think the food. Ace wanted to get himself hungry. That's why he was like, "What's
nah, I know
everybody
it's a
eating?"
staple point of the channel, man. Every time you come on here, you gotta talk about either the couch or the food. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes on Thanksgiving it's both. You talk about the food, then you hit the couch, you know?
Yeah, the couch. I mean, I've already said nobody's touching this couch because if they do, their fingers are getting cut off.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that. Yeah, the name brand Susan mentioned with the hot dogs, they're still in business. Doesn't surprise me. Um, Nosebleed says hot dogs, peanuts, pretzels are a good stadium staple. I always go for I always eat peanuts and pretzels. Like that's. I'm more of a snack
Pretzel
person
soup.
though.
Yeah.
I will always get a pretzel, dude. Like I'm more about the snacks at ball games than I am about actual like food. I just love
Yeah.
my
Oh
snack,
yeah, yeah.
So
Or
I'm a
like if
big
you go to
snack.
carnival too, like carnival snacks are banging, bro. Like you go get what is it called? The dough with the powdered sugar on there.
Oh,
Um I always forget what the name of it is, but then when I hear it, I'm like, okay.
is it
Somebody in
like
the
a
chat say it real quick.
funnel cake? Funnel
Funnel
cake?
cake, there you go.
Yeah, funnel
Funnel
cake.
cake,
Okay.
I got onto late in the game, but you get some a nice funnel cake is banging.
Yeah.
Jason asks, "How does Ace like his steak?" You know, it's funny. We just had this conversation when I was with my nephew, right? Because we went to a hibachi Japanese place where they're cooking in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
and my nephew was like, "Oh yeah, let me get a steak well done." I'm like, "Well done." Like, bro, what are you chewing on a belt? Like, bro, what are you just like chewing, bro? Like, always get your steaks medium rare. That is the best
Bam!
way to eat
Let's
it.
go.
Medium rare. If you get anything besides medium rare, you're disrespecting the steak. It's as
You know,
simple as that.
well, I got to play this just one time, just the
Mm-hmm.
DJ sound, just because you said medium rare.
Yeah.
One time, I gotta play it. Play it, bro. Thank you.
Always, dude. Anything else is disrespectful, bro. You get well done. You're chewing on a steak. Look, I remember when I used to get my steaks well done when I was a kid, and I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? And as I grew up, I'm like, yo, medium rare is the way to go, man. Like, even if you get it like, what is it, medium well? You know what I'm saying? That's still a little bit too much. You know, medium is okay, but medium rare is perfection.
He's
Jason
disappointed.
says disappointed. He says medium well. I mean, but medium well is right there, almost there with it. Try medium rare, bro. I'm telling you, medium rare is where it's at. And like
Yeah,
John says, no steak sauce. A good steak doesn't need steak sauce. You're
no, it
disrespecting
doesn't.
it if you get steak sauce.
And
It's
Susan
not seasoned well.
she says, no,
No,
well done always. I mean,
no,
yeah.
no, no, no. It's like
And then
you like
Nosebleed, I agree, says, well done is shoe leather. See,
yeah,
Jason, you're starting a war here, dude.
yeah,
Over how people like
dude.
their
Like I said,
steak.
you're still people that eat well done are still chewing. That's what it comes down to. They're still
Yeah,
chewing. They haven't even eaten
yeah.
it yet.
No, I love a little red in the middle, dude. I'm a medium rare guy all the freaking way, and I will live with that till the rest of my
Yep.
life. So,
Exactly. You
but
know.
there we go. There we go. We talked about food, Ace. You're welcome. I know.
Yep.
Hey, the food thing is something I always talk about, like on the pre games. Usually, if it's like pregame, I don't really bring it up. But
Mm-hmm.
I have noticed that some people do get upset. So maybe outside of pre games, I'll have to bring up the food thing because
You gotta
everybody
start the
goes
food channel, man. You gotta start that NFE food channel, the food zone,
the food zone.
the
There
snack
you
zone. There you go, the snack zone instead of the strike zone. You know.
go. Nah, I don't need Ace to save me there, Brad. I could save myself, but I do appreciate Ace coming on though. That I will say that,
Appreciate you
Brad.
for having me on as always,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Anytime, man.
Brad's
Anytime.
just upset because I don't invite him on, but you're fine. You'll be fine, Brad.
The cheesecake zone is what Steven says. That's hilarious.
Nah, I'm not calling it cheesecake zone. But yeah, a channel just where we talk about food and invite some folks on. Be cool to invite some chefs on. But
There you go.
Yeah, man, that might be an idea. I want to start a fight channel too. I mean, I still need to
Do
do
it,
that.
man.
Yeah,
See, the strike zone could be a double entendre. You could do the strike zone for that and striking, like, so you could do it. You can incorporate both.
for sure. For sure. Food and fights. I mean, food and fights always go well together. It just
Yep.
does. Just like
Yep.
food and games. But yeah. But that's what we got though, folks. Once again, I do appreciate Ace jumping on with me for a little while and just to talk about the series with the Mets and how overall the Yankees are doing, how the plan B has worked out for these guys so far, and it's working out good. Yankees are still in first place in the AL East by 5 games. So they have a pretty healthy lead right now. So let's see how the month of May ends up. June will be interesting. I know they'll play the Red Sox next month. I'll do a monthly recap. I'm trying to do like monthly recaps, kind of like what I did in the beginning of this month, where I talked about the month of April. Then I'll probably do the same thing for the month of May once we get into June. So something new that I'm trying to do actually with like the monthly recap thing. But
Nice.
yeah. But once again, folks, I do appreciate Ace jumping on. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Ace Avenue. He's almost at 2,000. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do go subscribe. He does an amazing job. Let's get him to that 2K. Make sure you all go subscribe to this channel. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. So no Yankee game today, but tomorrow we'll begin the festivities against the Texans. So let's see how the Yankees do before they fly out here to my neck of the woods, which I'm so looking forward to. Once again, folks, have a great night. Enjoy your Monday night, and we will see you all tomorrow. We are out, and as always, let's go Yankees.